You were saying.
Yeah. So what I was saying is we all agree that we definitely need to empower ourselves by making sure that we're as informed as possible, living in the information age, you know? Um, yeah. Yeah. And I agree with you that more can be done to make sure that we are all, even if not on an expert level, but we know enough that we can't be lied to, you know? But ultimately, for me, I'd say let evidence be your guide because evidence is reality. Like conspiracy theories make for good debate because we can go into all the different angles and like they made with enough doubt that anybody can make a point. That's why they make for such good debate because every and anyone can come up with a point that they can come at the argument with.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like some of these debates are not even useful because evidence is everything. Reality is everything. And if in your reality, what the scientists have told you to be true is proving true, then I don't know, man. I don't see the need to listen to anyone else. That's me.
Yeah.
Rejoice?
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, I really, yeah, I feel like people should, like, it's good and well that we have all of these amazing bodies and, yeah, we have what we call the elite that basically know everything, and we're just the people that get told everything in terms of what's right, what's wrong, what needs to be done, all of that. I think for me, I feel like the biggest thing that people can do for themselves is just to empower themselves with knowledge and not accept everything as fact. Interrogate it. It's like what we were saying earlier, like test it out and see if it works for you, and if it does, then great. If not, then do something else, instead of just taking it as is because it comes from a specific kind of body that is deemed as like great and whatnot. So and in terms of like with conspiracy theories, like research, find the information and decide for yourself what you think is right, because of how you've been conditioned and how you might find that you are on the side where you want to believe stuff, but even when that is the case, do your research and make sure that you you're right about what you're saying, basically, so that you're not misinforming yourself and you're not sharing that knowledge with other people, because that's also spreading misinformation. So that's me.
And like ultimately the point is to take responsibility for ourselves as individuals and not be afraid to think for ourselves, If you are willing to follow a conspiracy theory, then be willing to follow it to its logical conclusion, whatever that is, But it becomes dangerous when parents are making decisions for children, I think we should give the kids a fighting chance, in the sense that we weigh up all the evidence through history, Like you might be one of the new parents that feels like vaccinations are not that important for children because you heard some conspiracy theory, right? That still lacks evidence. But the overwhelming evidence through history suggests that. It's like even parents that feel children aren't learning the best at school, so therefore they feel like they want to homeschool their children. You know what I mean? I've always been of the view that in the beginning, right, you try and give a child the same as everyone else, and then obviously moving forward, then you tailor your approach to the child, But in terms of vaccinations, in terms of basic education, these type of things, I think, the reason why we've tried to standardize them as a society is because, we've seen that in the developmental stages, these are the things that are required to keep a human being alive and give that human being the best shot of being healthy in the future. And obviously, if you find out, okay, the evidence has been wrong all along, then no way. Then feel free to go on your own path, But what I'm saying is be responsible for yourself, and honestly believe, like, rely on the evidence. Because even then, when you're making decisions for children, for instance, then you know where your decisions were based on evidence. So even when the kids grow up and ask you, but mommy, why did you do this? You know? Then there's evidence to back up that decision. Yeah. Just wanted to add that.
I think from my side, my doggy bag, my takeaway would be that we have to do two things. We have to become comfortable with not knowing something, with not having an opinion something. Without having an opinion on something, we need to become comfortable with that, with being like, okay, I don't know what this is. I have to go research. I have to go find out, But I think in the modern day, with Google, just like here on your phone, there's a lot more pressure on humans to just have like a fully fleshed out opinion and treatise on any topic or situation that arises. You know what I'm saying? And it becomes dangerous if we.
Which is unrealistic.
What is the phrase? Yeah, it's unrealistic for us to know everything or be experts in everything, and it becomes dangerous if we want to plant our flag on every theory or on every situation that arises. We want to have a say. We want to have our input. We want to plant our flag there and say, this is the truth. This is the reality. Sometimes we don't know, So that's step one. We need to be comfortable with saying that we don't know something. Number two for me would be vigorous self-education. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I tend to agree with Ra in terms of how powerful the scientific process is, evidence-based, testing and research of matters. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the evidence. I think the only place where I depart from that is that historically, people who have been entrusted with that knowledge or entrusted with making certain decisions for society have abused it and have marginalized and abused, especially like certain vulnerable sections of society, people of color in society. And so that's why I feel like society as a whole needs to be educated better so that we can ward off those abuses of power.